Dennis Hikes, a long-term Rotarian. Classification is or has been corporate financial management. What inspires me about Rotary is its wonderful model for service giving and the opportunity it presents to its members to be involved in so many ways. It's a wonderful governance model for a service organization as well, worldwide. We move through the chairs in a remarkable manner. In our club, as a matter of fact, right now we have a president who's sort of a recovering photographer, but most guys think he's doing pretty well. It's a great organization. I'm staying with it. Thanks.
My name is Jeff O. I'm a financial advisor, one of 32 financial advisors we have in our club. We should try to diversify our classifications, but that's a talk for another day. What inspires me about Rotary is all the great friends I've made over the last 15 years in Rotary. Top-notch people, and it's fun to get together every week with them and learn more about what Rotary is doing and make a difference in the world.
Well, I'm Dick Teagan, and I joined Rotary in Suva, Fiji in 1990. And I was inspired to join because a priest who was a member of the Rotary said, "We'd like you to be Father Christmas." And that was my introduction to Rotary. And then when we returned to the United States in 1993, I fortunately joined Edina Rotary. And we were here for a number of years, and then we moved up to our lake home in 2003. I was a member of a Rotary up there, and then we came back 2 years ago, and I'm back in Edina Rotary. My inspiration in Rotary is really two things: service above self, and I've been able to participate in a lot of wonderful service projects. But in Edina Rotary, we have a third dimension, and that is we're very upbeat and we're very social, and you just have fun.
My name is Bob Solheim, and my classification is hospice. And I am certainly inspired by the great privilege all of us have to be members of this values-driven organization, a place where we can come and be in the presence of friends and have a fellowship that is just unparalleled in our society. And it's a darn good place to meet a spouse or something like that.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Edina. A special welcome to our visiting Rotarians and guests. My name is John Flynn, and I remain humbled to be your 64th president. Dennis, Jeff, Dick, and Bob, thanks for your inspirational messages. We appreciate all your Rotary service. And thank you everyone who shared their inspirational messages this year. We had 70 different people air their messages at the start of our meetings. And Bob, I think we might have saved the best for last there. Thank you very much. Today is a very exciting day for our club. Today is our transition meeting, and as Dennis so eloquently described, Rotary has a wonderful governance model where we move through the chairs, and today we'll be celebrating that transition and the installation of new officers for our club. We'll also be thanking many of the people that have made our club so successful, and we'll be acknowledging the work that our board of directors and our committees have done throughout the year. Edina Rotary is an important part of our community, and we'll be talking about many of the things that we do. As an example of our increased impact in the community, last night was our charter night for our Rotaract Club. It was held here at the Country Club. As you can see, we had heavy appetizers, as they say in the business. And Sam Thompson, of course, was the champion of the club and did a great job running the meeting. And we had John Credelli, who's here today as well, as our inspirational speaker. Thank you for your inspirational words, John. And we had a good turnout, probably 20 people from our club. And this was our new Rotaract members that were able to attend last night. Good-looking crew. They look like they have a bright future ahead of them, and we're looking forward to supporting them in the years to come. Now the city of Edina has 2 Rotaract clubs, an Interact club at the high school, and a Rotaract club for professionals who are 18 to 30 years old. So if you know anyone in that age group, make sure you encourage them to check it out. It's a great chance to network, to find mentors possibly in this club and just become more involved in Rotary and the community. Also, a week ago today, it was similar to today, we were thinking about snow, or not snow, thank God, but it was raining, but we still had a picnic, and it was a lot of fun. A special thanks to our Rotary picnic for selecting a great location for rain or shine. We had 100 guests, over 100 guests to attend, a lot of family members, a good location, and everybody enjoyed the food. Renee said the wine was really good, so I'll take her word for that. And if you want to be on next year's picnic committee, please get in touch with Renee immediately after the meeting, because that fills up pretty quickly usually. Oh, look at that. You've ever seen two guys so happy drinking water? Anyway, can everyone please help me thank the people that helped with today's meeting? When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Jim Ryman and Becky Mikulski were at our front desk. Mary Husted and Ann Platt were our greeters. Jennifer Hendrickson is going to be our photographer. Thank you, Jennifer. Dan Hallberg will be writing the barker. Matt Bookmeyer will be giving our invocation. He's not going to stand until just a few minutes from now. And I'll be introducing guests. So thank you, everybody, for your help today. And if everyone could please stand, Matt will lead us in the invocation.
Good afternoon. As I was warned, perhaps threatened, earlier today by an anonymous Rotarian, just a hint, this person may or may not work in the travel industry. This will be a short invocation. Dear Lord, this will be a short invocation. Watch over all who are gathered here today, except for the one who may or may not have warned me earlier. Okay, him too, it's fine. Thank you for the food, especially the cookies, and the continued support for all the good works of Rotarians throughout the world. Lastly, give strength to those around us who are struggling, and let them know that there is a room full of Rotarians who are here for them. As Rotarians, we proudly give of ourselves to those in need, but help us also to see that sometimes those with the greatest needs are sitting next to us having lunch. Amen. Let's join me in the four-way test, but I got to go out to see it. Oh, pledge allegiance. Yeah, right. Pledges to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Matt, now go for it.
Thank you, Gordy. I still can't read it. But anyways, these are
The things we
the things we say or do. The first, Ruth, is it fair to all concerned? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Matt. We'd like to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians. When I call your name, if you could stand and, in your case, give us your home club and your classification. John Credelli.
Welcome,
Thank you.
John.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Mr. Jim Perkins is here from Florida. Jimmy, longtime Edina Rotary member.
The repeater is here.
He's here. Thank you, Jim.
Glad to be here. I'd love to repeat what he said, but this is the best club, the most club involvement that any club I've ever seen in my 44 years.
There you go. We also have, she's actually an honorary member, but I'm still going to introduce her. Jennifer Garski's here today. Where are you, Jennifer? Come on, stand up. Great to have you here. Thank you. Marty Cooper has a guest today. Good. And Josh Sprague has some guests today.
Yes, we've got the Sprague family here today. Kelly, Nick, Johnny, and Charlotte.
And I have two guests here today, if they'd stand up. Pam Conlow. Pam's a familiar face around our Rotary Club, thankfully. And Ryan Flynn, my son, who was also at the RORAC meeting last night.
Welcome.
Today, we'd like to thank many of the people that have helped make our club successful. First, we'd like to thank our host, the Edina Country Club. Do you think your crew back there can? Okay, you rally them. Good idea. So anyway, we've been at the Edina Country Club for 30 plus years, right? And they've done a great job. They're wonderful to work for or work with, and we appreciate everything they do for us. And in a minute, they're going to come out and we'll show our appreciation. That's really good. We got time. All right, in the meantime, we're going to also, Jennifer Garski's here today, you know, and she left sort of in the middle of the night one night, and we were high and dry, but the board was a little concerned we didn't have an administrator. But thankfully, one of our members, Jennifer Benarott, stepped forward and did a fantastic job helping us identify a new club administrator. And we were lucky to find an individual who has made the transition to a new club administrator a pure pleasure. So Becky, can you come up and we'll thank you for your first year of service? Okay, the country club's still in the back, getting organized. We also would like to, how am I doing on my clicker here? Not very good. We'd also like to thank our gala committee. I don't know if you remember or not, but we had a fantastic gala this year. Their efforts were outstanding. And I'd like to, everybody on the gala committee that worked on the gala committee, please stand up. And if you're not sure, feel welcome to stand up. Very good, thank you. So I'd like to ask two individuals to come up for some special recognition. And one is our co-chair, Jody Kern. Is Jody here? There she comes, come on up. And the other is Jennifer Benarott. Come on up, Jennifer. So Jody, your leadership and willingness to host us at your home for hours on end and keep all that stuff in your garage and everything else you did really helped make our fundraiser fantastic. It's a great success, and I just appreciate your leadership and your willingness to serve so much.
We were so
Thank you,
happy
Jody.
to help you, John.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you these.
Wow, thank you.
Look at that.
John. I feel like I'm going to prom.
This is pretty close. Anyway, Jennifer, I don't know, everyone has to know that Jennifer.
I've got a prom date.
Yeah. She's tied up. Anyway, everybody has to know that Jennifer does so much for this club, and I won't get into the list of everything she does, but certainly the fundraiser this year, you once again came through and just did a fabulous job supporting our efforts, and also what you did for us finding our club administrator was unbelievable. So thank you for all your efforts, and I really appreciate everything you do for the club. Thank you, Jennifer. There you go. All right. This is wait, let's come on. It's just like prom, 2 days.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw your attention to the other side of the room where we have our Edina Country Club staff. Thank you very much, everyone. We really appreciate your help and everything you've done for us this year. Thank you. For the record, we also want to thank Patty Solheim Ellingson, or Ellingson Solheim. How's it go again, Bob? And one of those ways, right? She, as you know, is probably the best accountant in the universe, and she's worked with us for years to keep our books straight. And with her help, we've had another wonderful year, and we have the bottom line to prove it. So anyway, thank you, Patty. She isn't able to come today because she's got someone getting married, right? And the pressure's on at home. All right. I'd also like to express my appreciation, no more flowers, sorry for you next group, but for some people that really stepped up this year and made our club work as well as it does. Doug Johnson and the program committee. Can you stand up? There's a fair number of people on that committee. Doug, thank you. Week after week, you hit it out of the park. Much appreciated. Brad Hepp and Mary Husted, stand up. Brad and Mary do so much behind the scenes with our new members and our orientation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mary, thank you for everything you do for the club. Really good. Here's a special group. If you'd stand, please. Steve Slice, Ann Platt, Bob Solheim, Jennifer Bennerott, and Paul Moody. Come on, stand up. These are the folks. These 5 individuals stood in for me when I was away on special assignment this year and ran our meeting, and from what I hear, they put on 4 of the best meetings we've ever had. And Paul, I hate to break it to you this way, but you know, you fell out of the top 5, but you can blame it on Jeff O. You know that. So.
I will.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for a fabulous year. We couldn't have done it without you. I think this is a good time to maybe talk a little bit about my experience as your president this year and my thoughts of having the honor of being your president. First, I want to thank each and every one of you for being so nice to me, and seriously, and so supportive, and overlooking all the little idiosyncrasies and weird things that I have when I come along. But you've really made this year one of the best experiences in my life. And I really feel strongly about everybody in this room that you're just a good friend, and it's great. You know, our club has a fairly long runway to become president. Steve Slice asked me if I'd be interested in the fall of 2014, and that seems like just yesterday, right? But anyway, the first thing that came to mind for me was my father, Mick Flynn. You may not know this, but my dad was the president of this club in 1992-93, when his theme was real happiness is helping others. And my dad loved the ideals of Rotary, and many of his best friends were in this club. And I was lucky enough to be a member when he was the president. And I've watched, excuse me, this string of unbelievable individuals be the president since then. And I just feel so proud now to be part of that. So anyway, today I feel blessed that I was able to follow in my father's footsteps, and that I could advance the ideals of Rotary and service above self. Each week I've said that I'm humbled to be your president, and I hope my actions and my attitudes have reflected that. We have such a rich collection of people in this club, and you're so talented that no matter what we take on, you bring so much to the solution that it just makes it fun to work with you side by side. And I really appreciate that. There are 2 things I really love about Rotary. 2 of the things, many things that inspire me. The first is obviously the people, but the mix of vocations, right? When I was working, I loved to come here and meet people in different industries, and it really does make our club special, and it's really a pleasure to work side by side. And the other is that you don't age out, right? We have a long tradition of members that have been here for many, many years before us, and they're really the backbone of this organization. And I love the scope of the experience and the age that we have here. And God willing, I have 30 more years of Rotary ahead of me, right? So that's the great news. This next year, my biggest responsibility is I'm the chair of the nominating committee. So we'll be trying to identify people for the 2020-21 board. And if I happen to sit down with you, I hope you give me the same response that I gave Steve Slice. So just keep that in mind. Thank you, everyone, for my best year in Rotary so far. I really appreciate everything you've done to help me and the club be successful. And we've had a very successful year. I think we could say that on any level. And I could say a lot more, but I just want you to know that I feel really lucky to be a member of this club and to be friends with so many of you. I just really appreciate it. Thank you. Usually when Michael Stanzik raises his voice like that, you hear a joke right about then. So, yeah. So even though today is our transition meeting, we still want to include a couple of pieces of business. One of those has to do with membership. A strong, vibrant membership is the backbone of our club, and we're all asked to be on the lookout for friends or acquaintances that might be interested in Rotary. So today, Brad Help is going to induct a new member in our club.
Thank you, John. I'd like to ask Rob Bredding to please come forward, and his sponsor, Paul Moody. No blankets today, though, Paul. On behalf of our entire membership, we want to welcome you as a new member to our club. I know you will have no problem in joining with the friendship that we share and the passion that we hold for projects that help make our community and the world a better place to live. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people who desire to uphold high professional standards in their vocations. As founder and the leader of REV Performance Solutions, your classification will be Business Advisory. Please get involved in one of our many committees, because this gives you an opportunity to get to know a lot of our great membership and find the real true value of Rotary's service above self. At this time, I'd like to ask his sponsor, Paul Moody, to please apply the pin of Rotary.
That hurt?
No blood. Great, and congratulations to Rob Bredding. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, hold it. Picture, photo up.
Oh.
Right here. There we go, over here, guys.
Oh, over here. Sorry about that.
Moody, turn around at your best side.
Thank you.
Where's the coin? Open the jacket. You're so
Rob, thanks for joining Rotary. Welcome to Edina Rotary. We look forward to serving with you. I want to give some recognition here to Royce. This year, right now, we're at +6. We're up to 179. Well, who's up front? Are you up?
You pulling the big card?
Yeah, I'm pulling it on him.
I vote to impeach.
Anyway, we're at 179 members, 6+ from a year ago right now, which by Rotary standards is unbelievable. If you hear around the world how clubs are doing, particularly in the United States, we're growing, and we're growing at a good pace. So it's thanks to Royce and many other people in this room that we're able to accomplish that. Thank you. Royce prepared a couple slides that I also altered, but I'm still going to cover them. Here's a little stat for you. We're about a quarter female, so we just need 120 more women, and we'll be 50-50, so let's get on it. Here's our years of membership, and not surprisingly, if you could read this, there's some big chunks of people that have been around a long time, but there's over a third of the members that are less than 5 years. So as you sit around the room and maybe see somebody that you don't know, don't sit there and go, gee, I don't know anybody in the club anymore. Go over and introduce yourself, and let's become friends. And here's our age profile. Again, we've got, by many standards, you'd say it was skewed to the high side, but you don't age out of Rotary, right? So all we need to do is just keep bringing in new members, and we'll be doing fine. And that's Royce's report. So thank you, Royce. And then I was going to do that for Shelley, but she didn't give me that option. So, Shelley?
I don't actually recall being offered a choice. It was like, Shelley, do you have slides? And I said, no, actually, I don't. And he said, that's fine. That's better if you don't.
Keep it short, I was born.
That's right. So I better get to it. Just to recap our last Rotary year on the International Committee, we had a successful completion of our work in 3 villages in Sierra Leone. Is Dan Mott here? I just want to recognize Dan. Dan worked tirelessly on this grant, not only to get it completed, but to see it all the way through. There's a lot of reporting and follow-ups and banking involved, and he did a tremendous job. We affected 3 villages, providing wells, latrines, and hand-washing stations. We just saw the completion of a well serving the Colonia Monterey community in Escuintla, Guatemala, bringing clean water to approximately 2,250 people. 6 members of our club traveled with other district Rotarians and members of St. Pat's to assemble and distribute over 500 water filters outside of Caban, and also had the opportunity to visit our well in Escuintla and meet the local community members whose lives it affected. And you guys, it was amazing. It was life-changing, and I'm so motivated to keep serving on this committee and leading it and leading more projects. Thank you to Susan Stiles, who did a little bit of translating for me. I was handed a handwritten letter from a woman on the water committee. She spoke absolutely no English, and she said a lot of things to me in Spanish that I did not understand, but she handed me this letter, and I just wanted to share with you that she said, "We thank you infinitely with all our hearts. Today our entire community is happy because we will all have clean and safe water for our families." So what we do here does matter, even if you don't see it with your eyes. And if you have the opportunity to travel in the future on one of our trips, I encourage you to do it. It is a life-changing experience. We are in the finishing stages of completing a $210,000 grant application to update medical equipment and supplies in pediatric and maternity wards, as well as develop a sustainable farm and egg production at a hospital in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Some other projects that we've worked on or that we've contributed to that other clubs are authoring are a water project in Santa Eulalia, Guatemala. We helped combat sex trafficking with educational materials with the Protect Me project. That is John Barnett's sister. She's an amazing human being, and we were happy to partner with her. Partnering with the Morning Club in shipping a medical pod to serve an encampment in Malusi, South Africa, to provide desperately needed medical services. And then we had other countless projects that we supported in Haiti, Palestine, Tanzania, and Uganda. We're also now, after our Guatemala trip, we're starting a new grant process. We visited a hospital that's desperately in need of clean water. All their water is contaminated, and there's tons of ways that we can continue to improve the lives of the people in Escuintla, Guatemala. So thank you. It's a privilege to serve this Rotary community, and I look forward to continuing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kenny Smith. I'm the chair of the Community Service Local Projects Committee. We had a successful year. It was a busy year that featured a lot of our usual projects as well as some new ones, and some that we're still working on kind of behind the scenes. So I'm going to go through each of the projects that we did. Okay, well, I'll go through some of the projects that we worked on this year. Let's see. I will go with, so the Cornerstone van wash. Last year we awarded a grant to Cornerstone to purchase a new van, and then we made a commitment to keep the van clean all year. So big thanks to Sutton and Mike Stanzik at Key Cadillac for making that happen. We've been doing our usual Feed My Starving Children events. We did one in the fall and one in the spring. Big thanks to Mike Siddick for arranging that and all the volunteers. The Thanksgiving baskets. This is a club favorite led by Mike Stanzik and Mary Husted and many others. Again, another successful family event. Thanks to everyone who helped out on that. Our Salvation Army bell ringers. This year we raised nearly $5,000 for the Salvation Army, and that's organized by Dan Hallberg and Wayne Harmon. Go to the next slide. Big thanks to Gene Morrison for heading up the holiday giving program again. This year we donated 2 gift cards to each resident at 66 West and 3 rolling carts of Christmas presents to Cornerstone. Souls for Souls, this is a new project this year headed up by Fira Hassan. Our club donated nearly 200 pairs of shoes around the world. Go with the Hearts and Hammers. This is a new event for a grant recipient this year that Mike Siddick headed up, where we painted a garage for a veteran. And then the new member service project. This was a project headed up by our new member class, and Susan Stiles was in charge of it, where we decorated the Edina Rotary clock at Centennial Lakes, planted flowers around that. And then finally, the Human Trafficking Committee. This subcommittee has been working extremely hard all year, and they're doing a phenomenal job on the Superheroes project, and that being headed up by Renee and Bonnie. So thanks to everyone who volunteered at our events this year, and to our committee members for making all these great events happen. So, thanks.
That's me. I'm David Kleins. Thanks for your help there. Sprague kids for helping me get set up. So today I wanted to just give a bit of a wrap up for my 2 years of being your Fearless Rotary Foundation chair. I'm going to hand the keys over to Susan Stiles, and I'm sure she'll do a great job. I'll still be on our committee, so don't worry, you'll still have spreadsheets and charts. Today, for starters, we want, you put them around, you moved them around. Okay, that's all right. Go back. Go to the first one. Thank you. Okay, so I wanted to say special thank you to these people here, Sean, Doug Drake, Tim Murphy, Bob Perkins. As you see, all of them helped me with the effort. Mr. Stellick is right here standing. He's going to help me hand out some hardware. Becky, thank you for helping out so much. And what does that say? And it's kind of cute. The gal that helps us in sunny Evanston is actually, her name is Edina, spelled just like the name of our lovely town. Yeah, it's amazing. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is the results of this year's effort to date, and I remind you all that we've got still an opportunity to participate. If you hand me a check today, if you put it in the mail today, I will get it. But please jump in and pitch in. The first contribution was $26.50. So if that's what's on your heart, great. We want everybody to participate at some level. So we're just about to 100,000 with the annual fund. And it's really fun that we have several new Paul Harris Society members this year. One of them I'm going to give a pin to today. It's been a terrific year, but please go online. I sent out, there's several emails have gone out, but please go online and pitch in, or send me a check or hand me some cash today. Thank you. So here, go to the next, there we go. That goes to, it's a fund in Venezuela. Okay, so here, Doug, these people here today, these are special people that it's cumulative. The money you give to the Rotary Foundation accumulates, and when you reach certain levels, you are awarded and said thank you. You get recognized with a thank you. And these people, several of them newer members, have reached levels of their first Paul Harris Fellow, and please come up, by the way. If your name's on that sheet, if you can, Doug, you got your glasses on, Doug? Come on up, please. Barbara, Katie, Wade, please come forward, stand up here with Mr. Stellick. So Dr. Drake has just recently joined our club, and he's jumped right in to help with the foundation efforts, making phone calls. And he's reached the Paul Harris Fellow level, first level, and Mr. Stellick's going to hand you a certificate there and your hardware. And Mike Martini also, you've reached it to Paul Harris Fellow first level, and so you have a lovely certificate to put on the wall of your executive offices. And then Toshi, dear Toshi, she's jumped right in and helped out so much, and she's pitched in for Paul Harris Fellow #1. Barbara reached Paul Harris Fellow #1. She's got your hardware there down on the end. And then, as you see here, Katie Campbell, it says Paul Harris Society. So that means that she's committed to, or expressed her intention to participate at the $1,000 level every year. And we really appreciate that, and there's several of you all in this room that have done that, and that means a lot. And then lastly, Wade Thoman at Paul Harris Fellow +1. So that's the latest from the area of the Rotary Foundation level. Please participate. This is the money that funds things that Shelley was talking about, but I disagree. It also supports things here in our town. Money from the Rotary Foundation went to help with the Rotary Room at the YMCA and projects around here in the city. So it doesn't all go overseas. A lot of it stays here in Minnesota. So thank you again, and it's been a fun 2 years.
I am Brandon Asbill, co-chair of Local Grants Committee with Paul Peterson. I just want to give a quick thank you not only to everyone in this room for your donations, but to the committee for spending countless hours to vet these grants. Each grant that comes in, we meet with them personally. And this year we had, let's see, I got the ESPN highlight version for John here. 38 applications. That's a big number. I think historically we had trouble getting applications, so we did a fantastic job. And not only that, there are about 20 of them that were A grades. So we had about $82,000 in requests that we gave A grades to. So a lot of really quality organizations asking for money. We had $45,000 to give away. $15,000 went to the signature project, Superheroes. Special thank you to Bonnie for putting in a lot of time to organize that with the Edina schools. It's been a great couple years, and I love the local grants because we are the connection to the local communities through your funds. So thank you for trusting us with your money. And next year we're in great hands with Kelly Burnett. We'll be taking over everything. It's a two-man job, but a one-woman job. So all right, thanks.
Today, we'd like to thank some of the people that have served on our board for the past 2 to 3 years and recognize their efforts. And we have 10 people that are leaving our boards, which sounds like a very big number, but we've got 22 people involved at that level. So if you come up, please, we'd like to have you gather up front here. Sana Sato, David Kleins, Dan Henning, Val Burke, Kip Peterson, Brandon, come on back up, Paul Peterson, Marty Cooper, Son again, Keith Benson, and Steve Slice. I probably should have asked somebody to help me earlier today. You guys are really nice. It's okay.
Who you want us?
No, that's fine. Come on up here, Rick. Hand these out to these people. So if you don't know this, if you're newer to the club, we do have a nominating process, and we try to identify people that we think would be not only good members, but potentially leaders in the future, and we ask them to participate. Many times they say yes, and it's a 2-year commitment typically, although we have had people serve for a year and others for 3, just depending on how it's going. And so that about every year we have half of the board that's new, and then we have an executive group, the president-elect, and the secretary and the treasurer and the past president that are on the board for 5 years. So this group will be leaving. They've done a fantastic job over the course of their careers here, and I just really have to thank them for everything they've done. Thank you, everybody. So looking into the future, Marty, by the way, if you remember his inspirational video, he said he'd been on the board for 10 years, and it's possible. But we only recognize him for the last 2 today, but he's been on and off for a long time, I don't know. And Steve Slice, of course, he's been on our foundation board now for 4 years, and before that he was through the executive channel, and then he was on the board before that. So I don't know what your plaque says, Steve, but for years of service, thank you very much. Really outstanding. So next year, here's our club board. And if you could stand when I call your name, I'd sure appreciate it. We got Josh Sprague, Sam Thompson, Michael Stanzik. New board member Joe Hayes will be our secretary. I'll be the past president. Royce will continue on his membership. Shelley will continue on with international service. Kenny Smith, local service 1 more year. Renee, she'll be social, and this will be her 3rd year, so she's going to get it right this year. Hey, again, did I forget the again part? And then Susan Stiles, I don't know if Susan's here today, but she's going to take over for our TRF efforts, which is a big deal. Jennifer Hendrickson will be our new public image person. She'll do a fantastic job. David Ozzie will be our youth service person. Kelly Burnett, is Kelly here today? There's Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. She's stepping into a lot of big shoes, 4 of them anyway. And then Fred Sylvester will be taking over for Marty Cooper, we're not sure that's possible, but he's going to do a great job. Where's Fred? So there's your board, everybody. And then a few years ago, how long ago was it, Jeff? That we had 4 years ago, we developed a foundation board separate from our regular board, which has really helped us focus, I think, on where our priorities are and help distribute the money and identify causes that line up with what our priorities are. So that group will again be Josh, Sam, and stand up here. Josh, Sam, Michael, Joe Hayes, John Flynn. And then at-large members are Jeff O, Jennifer Benerant, Ann Platt. New to the board will be Jody Kern at large, Gary Pedersen, and Gary is our past international service. So one of the ways you get on the foundation board is if you were either local or international service. When you're done on the club board, you go to a 2-year term on the foundation board because of your experience. It brings a lot of experience to our board, which is very helpful. Which means Brandon and Paul will be on the board for 2 years. And then Shelley and Kelly aren't voting members of the board, but they're there because they're the ones that bring the grants. So anyway, here's your foundation board. Thank you, everybody, for your service. So it's working out okay here. Thank you, Val and Renee, for giving up your time at the mic. So, no, they did not do it willingly. I agree with that. Now for the moment that at least one of us has been waiting for. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our next president, Josh Sprague. Josh joined Rotary in 2008. Congratulations on 11 years of Rotary service. He spent almost half that time on our board. He was originally sponsored by Sandy Schley. Sandy's here today. Thank you for that. And his Rotary classification is luxury real estate. As I said, Josh has been on the board for 5 years. First as our membership director and most recently going through the chairs. Josh and his wife Kelly live in Edina, just down the street from Cornelia Elementary School, and they have 4 beautiful children that only fight half the meeting, so that's good. Josh is very engaged in Rotary. He has a ton of ideas and he likes to get things done, so get ready for a fascinating year. I know he's busting at the seams to get started. Please help me welcome our new president, Josh Sprague. Well, one of the things I was given last year, which I've been nervous about now for 52 weeks, is this pin. It looks like it's been around for longer than I have. So, Josh, I'm going to pin you with our presidential pin. You want to do a hole in your suit? Go ahead. There, you got her. Wasn't so tough.
All right. Well, hey, we recovered. You recovered from 2014 in Jeff O. Congratulations on that. I didn't know it could be done. Come back up here, please. Come back up, John. First of all, John, I cannot think of a better motto for your year than be the inspiration. And that's not it, but that is. Yeah, that's my guy. I know everyone in this room will agree that you helped inspire us to a higher level of commitment to Rotary in this past year. You grew our club to over 180 members, actually 179, Royce. You had the most successful gala in the history of the club. Your weekly meetings ran like clockwork, and your good judgment and kindness made our board meetings productive and our decisions impactful. I think we often forget that this is a volunteer organization, and the fuel in our machine is goodwill, service, and friendship. Without that precious fuel, we cannot reach our humanitarian goals. So thank you, John, for generously sharing your goodwill, service, and friendship with all of us all year round, and helping the Rotary Club of Edina to continue to expand its reach both locally and internationally.
Thank you.
John, on a personal note, let me just say that serving with you on the board these last 4 years has been an honor, and watching you serve as president has further grown my respect and admiration for you as a leader and as a person. Thank you for setting a great example of servant leadership for all of us walking in your footsteps. And now, John, in gratitude for your service and as a very small token of our appreciation for your leadership, on behalf of the entire club, I would like to offer you these gifts. First, your very own monogrammed Rotary swag bag with lots of goodies. Including
Somebody giving them a finger? It would be appropriate.
your very own set of monogrammed, personalized golf balls, including your name, title, and year as president for your enjoyment. May the wind always be behind you and the bounce always with you on the future greens of life.
Nice, thank you.
Next, a very nice bottle of Bordeaux for you and Pam to enjoy, perhaps after a long day on the course.
Nice.
A foam fan finger in Rotary Blue, because we all know you've always been our greatest cheerleader and supporter. I mean, hey, we are the #1 club in the universe, right? Caveat to this being, you can only wave that when I'm talking, so. And finally, a framed, very rare, early version of your cash flow analysis for the foundation. One of thousands of your most excellent Excel creations, along with your nickname, the Spreadsheet King.
Thank you, Josh.
Throw that in there. Let's throw it in there. Next.
This is unbelievable.
Next, in recognition of your leadership, please accept this past president's pin along with our traditional plaque and gavel.
Thank you. Thank you.
And remember, you still have one more year on the board, so you're not out yet. Finally, John, to commemorate your year as president, we would like to offer you this signed framed photograph of our 2018-2019 club, which appears alongside our club photograph from 1992-93, the year your father Mick was president. As you said, Mick's slogan that year was "Real happiness is helping others." I did not have the honor or pleasure of knowing your father, but I do know that he would be proud of what you've accomplished, both for the club and for humanity during your term in office. And so, from all of us, John, thank you again for your exemplary service. Please stand and recognize our 64th president.
Picture by the picture. Thank you.
Before I introduce next year's theme, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some very special people in my life. First, my wife, Kelly Sprague. Who has been on this Rotary journey with me every step of the way. Kelly traveled with me to Hamburg, Germany earlier this month for the Rotary International Convention. Kelly also traveled with 26 of us Rotarians and friends to Guatemala in May for our water filtration project. It's these two experiences that really unpacked the gift of Rotary for Kelly, allowing her to connect to both the purpose and the people of Rotary. Because of this connection, Kelly plans on joining the South Minneapolis Metro Evenings Club later this summer. Congratulations, Kelly. Sitting next to Kelly are my 4 children, Charlie, Johnny, Kelly, and Nick, who have all grown up in Rotary. Here they are just a year or two after I joined in 2008. One of the many things that our club does right is creating an inclusive and welcoming environment for families. And here's the proof. My kids have participated in everything we do over the years, including regular meetings, youth exchange, international service and the Moses Miracle, TRF and Paul Harris recognition, the Edina Parade, and Thanksgiving baskets, to name just a few. And look how they've grown, not just in physique and age, but in character. Hey, who wants to recite the 4-way test? Hello? Of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Awesome. You guys are awesome. So, like my wife, my children have also made a connection to the purpose and the people of Rotary. And that is what next year's theme is all about. Rotary connects the world. Here's the animated version of the theme, which shows all kinds of different people pictured in the various colors from all different backgrounds, but all connected through the blue icons of Rotary. Rotary is a connecting force between people. It's that little rotary wheel spinning on the hearts of Rotarians when they see someone in need. It's the bond of fellowship and friendship that we find in the meeting room every week, in our committees, and at our board meetings. It's the service partnership between clubs across the district and across the world. And it's the attraction that keeps bringing new generations of Rotarians to our clubs. It's connection. It's love. Incoming Rotary International President Mark Maloney had this to say about our theme. Rotary allows us to connect. It allows us to connect with each other in deep and meaningful ways across our differences. It connects us to people we would never otherwise have met, who are more like us than we ever could have known. It connects us to our communities, to professional opportunities, and to the people who need our help. Connection is what makes the experience of Rotary so very different. In Rotary, none of us is an island. All of us are here together, whoever we are, wherever we are from, whatever language we speak, or traditions we follow. We are all connected to each other, part of our communities, and members not only of our clubs, but of the global community to which we all belong. That connection is what lies at the heart of the Rotary experience. It is what brings us to Rotary. It is why we stay. It is how we will grow Rotary. So, this year, whether you're new to the club or marking your 40th year as a member, make a connection to the purpose and the people of Rotary. Connect to your club and the projects we're working on. Connect to each other on a deeper level. Consider reaching out to someone you may not know or mentoring a young professional. And connect to the greater Rotary world through attending an international convention or service trip or working with Shelley on an international project. Remember, we are people of action, and together we make Rotary connect the world. That's it. Don't forget, July 4th is the parade and the first annual ever Edina Car Show. If you're in town, please come out and show your support for these events. We will see you back here on July 11th for the first meeting of the new year. There's no gavel and thing here, but meeting adjourned. Bing!